black shirts, check. Haircuts to hide receding hairlines, check.
I don't have a receding hairline. Maybe I'm stubborn, but
I feel like I do.
You don't.
No?
You got a totally normal hairline.
I'm kind of like letting this kind of go because like when I line it, I got that Mr. Burns fucking like whatever that is right there, those fucking colon spots or whatever the fuck.
I mean, I like compared to you, I would say between the two of us, I have the receding hairline, and I don't even feel like I do. You know?
You don't. I was saying like mine. I'm like always like if you notice, I'm always like, oh my god, I'm fucking my wife's gonna leave.
What are we drinking there, cowboy?
Oh, Pepsi, 0 sugar.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm a Diet Coke addict, but I do a little tolerance break from here every now and then. And today, totally sober too. No nicotine. No fucking. Yeah, I've been very slow with my words, dude. No nicotine. I haven't had nicotine in like a week, and I've been very slow, like trying to like talk and find the right words and stuff.
I felt when you said that, I felt like that Post Malone like meme that's going around, like,
yeah,
right on, man. Nice, man.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. I can't say the same as far as the sober goes. Sobriety thing.
I lost
but nothing
it,
much.
And
just the pen.
It's not because I wanted to. It's because I've lost both of them somehow. And
your pens.
Both, yeah, because I have a nicotine like pod, like a Elf bar.
Oh, okay.
And I have a pin, like a disposable, and I don't know where they are. I had to do a whole family trip this week without them, and it was terrible. It was the worst.
The pen is the worst thing to lose because you just think about how much you paid for the cart, and
100%. It was fresh. Fresh, boy.
You wonder if it's going to be. You wonder if it's going to be broken when you find it, because that happens. I've found one broken where I fell asleep with it in the bed, and that night, because I have tile floors, so one time I woke up and I was like, "Where the fuck is it?" And it was on the floor next to the bed, shattered.
I had a double whammy once where it was like a top shelf pen, and I broke it in a good pair of like slacks, like one of my better pairs of slacks, and it just like leaked out all over, and it was just pure fucking like honey shit stain all out into my pockets. So just like between the pants and everything's like $200 with the pants and it was like a 2-gram cart too, like one of those fat boys.
Oh,
I was just like, at a wedding, just like trying to like grind on my wife's aunt.
That's a tough one. Perfectly normal, perfectly healthy.
Yeah, I mean,
tell me, were those pleated pants?
No, they were not.
Oh, thank you.
But I got them at Macy's, so
I see no problem with
wedding
that.
Slacks.
It is what it is. Sometimes you got to splurge, man. I'm not you probably know this about me, but I'm not the type of guy who has like a big repertoire or collection of like formal attire. Like I'm not ready to attend a wedding, but I mean, I got a nice coat, but yeah, it takes it takes a trip down to the Macy's or pretty much anywhere for me to be ready for something like that. I
have like 5 black shirts and like a couple of like pairs of pants, and that's pretty much it.
What's the most dressed down you've ever gone to, let's say, a wedding reception?
Oh, dang. One time I basically wore what I would wear to a nice golf course.
Okay.
But without the golf shoes. Because like there's a couple of courses that I play with friends and family that are like nicer. You can't just like go in shorts, and you can't really like look stupid. So there's like a nice pair of that they're actually like Nike pants, and it was like an off-brand. It's not an off-brand, but it was a nice golf shirt that didn't have a logo.
Yeah.
and so I just rocked that. And I looked nicer than a lot of the dudes that were there. Some of the dudes were wearing like the Fools Gone Wild shorts with the like, uh, you know what I'm saying?
Like the plaid pattern or
The
something.
plaid pattern with
Something. Yeah.
yeah, and then like the hat with the feather on it and shit.
The baby blue button down or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the shiny like the shiny ass button down shirt.
Yeah. The peach button down if they were, trying to be a little bit brighter. That's cool,
Yeah.
man. All right, let's talk about some MMA.
Let's do it.
Let's recap this fight night card that happened this past weekend. And I didn't realize, or it didn't dawn on me going into it, that they were going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. So UFC on ABC5. This one was on regular ass TV, whatever that is anymore. And you got to figure a lot of people's eyes were probably on this fight because of that.
For sure.
I mean,
it's not a huge a sports time of the year. I mean, baseball's not even at the All-Star break. Hockey's done. Basketball, no basketball. Draft's done. No football to speak of.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a good opportunity for the UFC to put Ilia Topuria on display. And granted, they're probably not thinking about it like that. They're probably thinking, like, we're putting these featherweights on display. But we knew what the score was. We kind of knew what this was going to be going into it. Ilia Topuria shows up and shows the fuck out against Josh Emmett, man. Just all complete one-way traffic. I think one of the judges scored it 50-42. And I've been hearing some I tried to look right before we went live, and I had been hearing some talks about one of the judges giving one of the rounds a 10-7, whereas I just assumed the whole time that it was multiple 10-8s. But if there was a 10-7 in there, I don't know that we've ever seen it. Can't recall a time when we've ever seen a 10-7, but
that's kind of I would need to see 3 knockdowns. And like the dude basically like one punch and then the horn and then like pulls away on that last punch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always kind of said that I've never seen what I would consider to be a 10-7 round, because for me a 10-7 round means the ref just wasn't doing their job at that point.
Right, he should have got him out of there. Good point. Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, well then I guess I can say that I have maybe seen a 10-7 round.
Sure.
Let's see. There was that time Luke Rockhold on Chris Weidman. That one definitely should have been stopped. But the thing is, like, I don't even think that round was complete dominance from the get go. But anyways, we're getting off track. I'm getting off track. Ilia Topuria on ABC shows out. His boxing was just incredible. His defensive boxing was amazing. If anybody's wondering, the outfit
he wore in with his girlfriend walking in, fucking European football or European soccer players just all on his nuts the whole time.
So okay,
absolutely
so who
crazy?
That Sergio
Ramos is a Real Madrid legend. I don't know who he's playing with now. He might be playing with Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. But I could be down. I think I've had this conversation with you where I don't have enough space in my head now that I have 3 kids. They all have their sports. So I used to be fucking soccer, UFC, and all the other regular sports. I can't. So soccer is out. I'll watch like Champions League or whatever every now and then, but I have no idea what's going on.
Plus, you're forced to talk about one of those sports weekly now.
Yeah, I'm not forced. Yeah. This is labor of love. I absolutely love this, dude. But Sergio Ramos back in the day, dude, FIFA legend. He's a defender for Real Madrid back when they were like that. Those motherfuckers back in the day. He was like from a young kid. He was like Mr. Madrid, like from it, because they go from like middle school. They start and they go through. So he's like literally from Madrid. Went there his whole life and played his way through and has won like multiple and is a World Cup champion, Champions League champion, La Liga champion, just everything you can ever have. Like something like he doesn't have like 60 million followers on Instagram.
58 million or something.
He's amazing too.
Yeah.
Good looking dude. Dated like every Euro trash Qs that's gone through. Just taking it all down. Good
Yeah.
for him. Deservedly so.
Incredible.
And,
And I think
yeah.
Mike made a comment. I don't know if it was in our group chat or mine and Mike's other one with Rodell, or any other basically sporting event where if they the camera went to him ringside, like everybody would have lost their fucking minds. But
Yeah.
MMA
Yeah.
fans,
Not so much nowadays. He's like a legend now, though.
yeah,
I guess like if you were to put it into like basketball, basketball tournament, like basketball terms, he would. But he's like a defender. So
and
like
then
maybe
also,
you take
like,
he's also a Spanish dude, like Pau Gasol.
Yeah.
Pau Gasol from the Lakers,
Uh-huh.
where he was just like not he wasn't Kobe, but he
Mm-hmm.
was definitely like for sure there for all that shit.
I think it's tough to even compare someone like that to a basketball player in the States, I guess, specifically,
Yeah.
because like a soccer player probably has an entire country behind them if they're like really, really famous. Whereas like
Sure.
a basketball player can be like really, really famous and kind of like transcend their team a bit, but still,
Because he's
Yeah.
so much of a champion too, but he's not, and he scored goals, but he's more of a defender, so it's kind of hard.
But those are the kind of people that Ilia Topuria is pulling out, that are showing up to kind of like see this guy do his thing. I think the UFC should really take note and recognize like what kind of a potential star that they have for Spain if they take it. And he called his own shot. He said, "Hey, I'm willing to sit and wait for the title shot," which I think he's more than earned.
He should. He has to.
He has.
He has to. Don't let Max just because I saw Mike had mentioned like Max now, and I'm like, dude, come on, dude, like this too much, dude. I would love to see that fight. Not that that's not an absolutely amazing fight. I'll fucking watch it tomorrow, but he cannot fight Max Holloway, dude. He has to just
Not before he fights Volk. Same like you. That's a fucking incredible fight, and he needs to fight Volk next. And regardless of what the outcome is, whether he beats Volk or loses to him, Max needs to be the next fight because we just need to see that fight. Like I certainly don't want there to be a scenario where we potentially miss out on that fight because of timing, because Max decides to go up to lightweight maybe or something like that, and then we miss out. I think that would be a great one. I think Topuria has an honest shot to be like one of the first guys in a long time to beat Max Holloway in a non-title fight at featherweight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. But either way, man, he cashed his ticket in a big way, like to get into that fight. And now we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with Volkanovski and Yair. But yeah,
I think Volk will fight him pretty like relatively quickly because that's just his MO. He's always done it. We may even see that fight. I mean, depending on how it goes, because god damn it,
we could see it at the end of the year. Absolutely,
it could be. Yeah, it could
or
be
later this year.
Maybe. I mean, September, November, even maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, for sure. I think October would be too late.
It would really pretty much all depend on how that fight goes with Volk and Yair. If he gets Yair out of there early, or if it's mostly one-way traffic. But I could see, early pick. Maybe not that early. Actually, the fight's only a couple weeks away.
It's in like a couple days. Basically.
Jesus Christ,
crazy, dude. It's insane. I have no idea what. How the time jumped up on me.
So I need to watch more tape. I'm leaning towards Volkanovski in that fight, obviously. But I don't think he gets out of there unscathed against a guy as offensive as Yair. I mean, fuck, dude. Yair versus Ilia Topuria, too. Like, that's a fight that needs to happen.
That's a crazy fight. That's just pure craziness.
I'm just really excited because I felt like Ilia Topuria wasn't necessarily over with a big chunk of the fan base, or that he just hadn't really like made his impact.
You and I are kind of in this like silo, and we are we pick the same pretty much pick, except you didn't pick Jared Cannonier, but that's different. We basically pick the same fights all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying because you were wrong last week. Remember?
Yeah, I'm aware.
But I'm joking. But we pick we're along the same lines as far as like I feel like we kind of like see eye to eye as far as because it was just a trip when like Mike came on and was like Shafkat Rakhmonov sucks, and I'm just like what excuse me, and then like I looked at you, I was like where am I right now? But it tripped me out because like uh, I was I don't consume a ton. I said this. I don't consume a ton of outside stuff just to kind of keep my own takes my own maybe and not to be swayed too much.
Sure.
And but it's kind of boring as far as like the card not having that pop. And so I was just kind of like, oh, let me see what other things are going on or whatever. And like hearing some of the media were just like, they really thought Emmett had a chance, and I was just like, dude, what? Right. No, you're saying this because you need to get clicks, right? You're not saying this because you believe that. And like so many people like straight up believe that Josh Emmett had a snowball's chance in hell out there. Right. And I was like, there is no way. I mean, I love Josh Emmett. Sacramento guy. Yeah. Awesome, awesome. I was in Sacramento for the fights this week. It was like he had no chance there. I thought like this is going to be, and then especially the way he wears his fucking, we saw it, the way he wears damage. Yeah, he's going to look insane. He's going to look like a horror movie mask, and he did. But yeah, and then I just had no clue. And then even afterwards, though, people were like, "Man, who Ilia Topuria?" Well, I was like, "You guys don't know who this is? Like, how do you not know who this guy is?"
Like a point of comparison. I mean, Arman just fought last week. And I don't feel like even with as dominant as he was, he got wobbled a little bit. And granted, it's Joaquim Silva. I mean, Josh Emmett was has Josh Emmett fought for the title? No, he lost to
He fought for an interim.
He fought for an interim title. Yeah, he didn't. But granted, he's right there in contendership, and Joaquim Silva is just a guy to most people. Sure. But I still don't feel like, despite the kind of performances that Arman's put on, he hasn't got over like Ilia just did this past week. Yeah. Because I just looking at comments, I still see people like, who the fuck is this Arman guy, or just kind of
it's a trip. It really does trip me out sometimes
when you see it click. And then this past weekend and on Sunday, all I'm seeing is like, fucking Ilia is a problem for everybody, and it's like, thank you. I'm glad people see it now.
And hey guys, how about like I was excited because they were gonna let him fight Patty, and I was just like, yes, please. Imagine now that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, there's no way that they let him fight Patty now. I kind of figured at some point maybe they might consider it to try and get him over, but I mean, Ilia's arrived. He doesn't need to fight Patty Pimlet to get people to notice him now, and that would just be. I mean, that was a glue factory fight right there. But and Patty's not even like old.
Emmett was. He was getting out. He had really. I couldn't really put anything. He definitely landed some shots, but they're very like, and he was like lucky to get them, and they were glancing. They were like, he barely got through the guard. Yeah, and kudos to him because he does hit fucking hard, but in those shots, he gave up information in those shots, and he didn't get those same shots again, and he got countered crazy off of them. Yeah, and he was getting countered off that old man like jab, like the stay back. Yeah, can't let you get close. Yeah, jab, and but kudos to him, dude, because he came out fucking hard, and after his corner was like, dude, you need this. You fucking need this round. He came out hard after taking a serious beating. He came out going for it, swinging. I mean, he wasn't successful, but you could see the spirit in him to fight and to not go out and just kind of reserve himself or kind of just to his fate and take his fate and kind of let himself go. Yeah, he went out like a champ.
He went out on his shield. Yeah, I mean, I think the closest that fight came to being finished was definitely in that fourth round. In fact, I wanted to ask you, like, was there any point where you would consider stopping that fight?
Yeah, was it the fourth or the third?
The fourth round was really bad. Yeah,
he was on top of him, and it was just like, dude, this is what. Like, let's stop this, guys. And it wasn't from a standpoint because I think you and I both said like I took a finish. I think I had him finishing him in the third, and I was like, dude, just stop this, please. And it wasn't because of that. It was just like, I would like to see Emmett fight more. Yeah. And, he's going to be out a long time.
Yeah. My prediction was a decision, but it's one of those deals where that was my prediction on the previous episode. Sure. As I'm watching the fight, and maybe like by round 2, I'm thinking, okay, that I'm not going to get that decision call after all. This is going to
Oh, you had that on verdict too. I remember we were going through that in the chat, and I was like, oh, I hope he gets the decision. I remember like actively rooting for that.
Yeah. So I went for points on verdict with the decision, got strapped up, by the way. And I remember thinking in that 4th round, I was like, fuck, I'm not going to hit this. He's going to finish him. Yeah. He's not going to survive this round. And once he did, I was like, dude, take next round off if you have to. And to Emmett's credit, in round 5, it didn't last very long, but he came out swinging. He listened to his coaches. His coaches told him you need to go forward. You need, your only chance is to just unload everything. And he did that for about 15, 20 seconds. It was enough for me to look at it and be like, well, Topuria can't just avoid this for a full 5 minutes. Like, he needs to. It needs to still be a fight this round. Like Emmett's still making it a fight, and I think credit to him because I think a lot of people quit on the stool after that 4th round, man.
Oh yeah, after the 3rd round, you're thinking like, let's maybe throw it in the towel for this dude. Let's start thinking about your kids if you want that, or your family too. Let's start thinking about that. And that's all due respect to Josh Emmett, who's an amazing fighter, highlight level career. Definitely not like Hall of Fame level, but just to do it in featherweight in the UFC and some of the fights he's had, it's been amazing. So all credit to him.
I wanted to ask. Oh well, if anybody is interested in a more technical breakdown for this one, I definitely recommend going and listening to Jack Slack's podcast. After the fight,
about the jab. Oh man, he's amazing with that shit.
Yeah, he breaks down Ilia's boxing way better than we ever could. Obviously,
he did a breakdown of Street Fighter. Did you hear that? I was like, oh, does Mike listen? Maybe we should like. He did like a whole breakdown of the new Street Fighter game.
He did. I didn't listen to the whole episode, but I don't think Mike does. I'm going to let him know about that. He should.
He's a Zangief player.
Shut up, really?
Yeah. And he's like, it's fucking sick because it's one button throws. I don't have to do this like half like crescent shape like move with the joystick anymore. It's just like one button throw.
That's funny.
Like, he's a Zangief player.
I think in our other chat, or was it our chat, or Mike asked if Mike was pondering if like Dagestani fighters were down for Zangief or like they cared about him, and I was like, do you think they probably think the same thing of American fighters in Guile? Like what?
No, dude, I'm for sure. I would guarantee you, video games are haram, dude. Like that shit's fucking.
Yeah, dude.
Even thinking about playing this is haram, dude.
Yeah. No, you need to give up this up, brother. You need to be on the mats. You need to train. Yeah,
this is haram
for sure. Those guys.
You see Cammy in that outfit, they're like haram, brother. This is haram.
Straight singlet up the ass crack.
Yeah.
Righteous. Okay, so yeah, I feel like it's a pretty good. We covered that main event pretty well. The co-main event was a WMMA fight. Macy Barber versus Amanda Hebos. I guess
Brandon, correct.
Probably
again.
Brandon was correct.
Suffering from success.
I was correct also. I picked Macy Barber.
I saw that.
I was wrong on verdict because I forgot. I almost forgot to put my picks in, and so I just picked. I went with the underdog pick for points. But yeah, Macy. I haven't talked to Mike about if we're going to do an episode this week, so we'll not talk about it.
Save the juicier cuts because you guys will do it justice.
Yeah, and we only have 2 fights to talk about on that one, anyways. So
right.
Let's see. David Onama he looked
killed the celly though. Killed it. That was gross, dude. Don't do that again.
No, yeah. Let's leave the other men's fucking celebration like emotes to them.
Yeah.
But man, what an uppercut. He looked amazing getting that finish, but he didn't do it without
fighter,
it was a little bit of a rough go for him though. He was having a tough round, and he had to kind of come from behind a bit to get that one. But boy, did he shut Gabriel Santos's lights out.
That was quick.
Brendan Allen comes in, styles out, gets the rear naked choke finish on Bruno Silva in round 1. He looked fantastic as well.
It's the summer of Brendan Allen, dude. He's looked good, man. He's putting some stuff together.
Man's doing everything right now. I love how he keeps calling for the purple shorts. I think that's great. I mean, I love that he had a call. I mean, he had a call out, but I don't remember who it was. I think he said he'd be down to fight Jared Cannonier, or am I misremembering?
But yeah, I don't. I think that might have been in the post fight interview. I don't think it was in. I'm talking about like the like press conference.
Yeah,
but
the
I
post
could be misremembering.
Bad producer move on my part, not remembering.
No, it's not a big deal. But he'll never fight Jared Cannonier because the weight class they're in, it's not deep enough for. And Jared is too old to fight back that far.
Maybe
because I mean, if you beat Sean Strickland and Marvin Vettori back to back. As shitty as that sounds to say out loud, like to actually say that into a microphone, you're not going to be like, okay, motherfucker, let's go, Brendan Allen. Like, he's going to hang around to see what the fuck happens.
I see what you mean. Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Jared Cannonier right now.
Because if you take the names away from, so if you just don't say Marvin Vettori, you don't say Sean Strickland, and you just give them like if you just say the rankings and record, maybe he just beat a guy with this rank and this record, the guy with this rank and this record, and really beat the brakes on this last guy, you'd be like, oh yeah, he's not going to go fight back down in the rankings. But
but kudos to him for calling anybody out and just being ready to get himself over, cut a promo for his post-fight interview, and now he's on a 5-fight win streak. 4 of those by rear naked choke finish, only one by decision to Jacob Malkoun, who's a fucking tough guy to get out of there.
He is.
And his most recent 2 wins over Bruno Silva, Andre Munoz, very impressive. I do think that he's gonna be firmly in the top 10, and I'm interested to see who he's gonna fight next. He's a guy who was fighting under my radar a little bit. Also, team furry hats, dude. Like, if you wanna kind of like inject some fucking momentum into your career, you gotta come out with a furry hat. All the cool kids are doing it.
Absolutely. No, I agree.
Let's see here. What was early
the Trevor Peak fight? It starts and ends with Trevor Peak and Chepe
Mariscal. Yeah,
that was sick. And what was so cool was like the night before, I drove into SAC, and so I was like looking up and down the card, and I was like, okay, I've seen Brendan Allen, I've seen Bruno Silva, seen Neil Magny. Too much. Like, who am I gonna watch or whatever? So like, I just typed into YouTube. That guy's fucking like run up to get here is I was all, this guy is a fucking car accident, dude. This guy is crazy.
He throws those Mortal Kombat uppercuts, dude. Like, you can see him from a mile away.
Yeah, and Trevor Peak straight like takes 2 steps into a right cross, dude. So I was like, this is going to be sick. That was sick.
I watched that fight with my dad, and he doesn't watch MMA or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, he'll watch a boxing match, but he doesn't really know anything about it or follow it. But I threw that on, and he was just like sitting next to me, and the fight was getting wilder and wilder, and it's like getting to the point where he was just looking at it, and he was just making sounds. Like, he wasn't like giving any commentary. He was just like, oof. Oof. Yeah. And man, I that was one where I was surprised where Chepe Mariscal didn't get that finish, man. Trevor Peak, he's fucking made of something special. Really, really exciting fight. I thought that was an early contender for fight of the night. Obviously, it was who did end up getting fight of the night anyways? Was it? I think it was Macy Barber and Amanda Hebos.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Could not have been Topuria and Emmett, because that was too one-sided.
It takes 2 to tango in that case.
Yeah.
But I think Mariscal, I like Trevor Peak a lot. I think Mariscal is going to do some really good things in the UFC. Mm-hmm. He's not here for a long time, but the motherfucker's here for a good time, dude.
Yeah.
That guy's gonna fucking. They're definitely not upset with him.
I liked his attitude too. Like I watched a little bit of his post-fight scrum, and I think he's going, like, as far as like his personality type and the kind of like fan that he appeals to, I could see like your typical like Nate Diaz fan, like taking a liking to this guy for sure. I'm gonna kind of like withhold my judgment a little bit, or not get too excited, because I look at, this was the first time I ever watched Trevor Peek. Both of them. I've never watched a Trevor Peek fight, or not that I could remember.
I've definitely been in the room for a few Trevor Peek fights, but not like nothing to like. Let's sit down and talk about his whole career. I don't celebrate his discography or whatever.
His discography. There's a reason we didn't do a breakdown for this fight. But dude's high octane, super exciting, very flawed fighter. So I think that. But I mean, credit to Chepe Mariscal for recognizing the openings and and taking advantage. So, but by all means, we won't be missing Chepe Mariscal's next fight.
Was it Rebecki and Razabov that got the fight of the night? Because that was another fucking good fight too. Mateusz Rebecki looks like he's for real.
Oh, that was the one where he kicked Razabov's like legs out from under him. I didn't watch all of that fight actually. I caught the end of it. That was pretty brutal. I don't know if I don't know what got fight of the night then.
But so again, dude, we talk shit every week. But the shit was entertaining as fuck, dude. I was there's always you can't expect it to be like 16 fights up and down the fucking card at 9 o'clock in the fucking morning, and just be sick as fuck. But if you sat down and, like you said, like your pops, he's he's not a huge fan, but
you find something to like.
If that fight's gonna fucking make someone like your pops go whoa, and dude, they know what they're doing. Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, looking at how this card started, you had decision, and then Rebecki really showed up and saved the card a bit, and kind of give it some life to it, because there was a lot of decisions.
Yeah, if you're watching it from like just trying to like get through the day, you're thinking like, oh, is like diners, drive-ins, and dives on, and then like that fight comes on, and it's like you're gonna maybe wait till they head to Flavortown.
It's what I call a good Reddit fight, which means I am scrolling Reddit while the fight's on in the background.
Right, exactly.
Last thing I'll say about this card: Austin Lane, train to keep your hands closed. That was a fucked up.
Gross. Wasn't it like 2 full fingers? That was like bowling ball.
It was
crazy.
And I guess they can go on about the unintentional. I mean, sure, it didn't look intentional. I don't think he went out there and said,
he wasn't like, I'm gonna fucking gouge this cocksucker's face. And he didn't do that.
But at the end of the day, officials, guys, we got to drop this whole idea of what's intentional and what's not intentional, and just think, hey, Justin Taffa can't see right now. What matters is making it fair for Justin Taffa. Right. And I guess it didn't matter. It was bad enough that it didn't continue. This fight was only 29 seconds, and they had to call it off. But hey, why are we punishing Justin Taffa? Let's just give this man his win bonus. I mean, I've always maintained eye pokes are something you can train to not do. I get you can post, you could push, off of someone's face. You can do all of that with a closed fist. Also, it's maybe not as ideal,
like open hand palm or something.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's not as ideal, but it's also not poking your opponent in the eyes. Sure. So I don't know, man. Like I give forgiveness to nut shots. Nut shots are going to happen. That's you can't control. You're throwing with the intent to land on the leg or on the body.
A moving target.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to happen on accident. What else is going to happen on accident? I guess eye pokes a little bit, but
eye pokes are kind of an. For sure, Bilal Muhammad and this guy are gonna have a pretty interesting stare off. We just need the poster of these guys trying to have a staring contest.
No, I'm not gonna go back on what I said. Actually, no. I think you start taking away points immediately. Fighters will train to keep their hands closed. I don't know if
you watch.
I'm no
Joe
boxer.
Rogan experience, but Trevor Whitman, it's interesting. He actually has a curve.
And you could bounce a ball off of it, and it doesn't bounce at all. It absorbs all the impact, which I always kind of wondered what that meant for like the person who's getting hit, like mathematically. You know what I mean? Because if it absorbs all of the impact, like that's to protect your hand. But what does that mean for the other the person
Yeah, is
that's
that like
landing on.
putting out more? Yeah, is that putting out more impact than it should be? Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
weird. Good point.
Fight night. Strickland versus
Mm,
Magomedov.
there's some bangers on this. This is
Some.
a really hardcore card.
Mhm.
This is a very hardcore card. Kevin Lee's coming back. The switch kick poppies jerking the curtain.
Yes, Demirez Magulov and Grant Dawson in that co-main.
Ooh,
That's a really good.
yes.
That's a good
That's
lightweight
a
fight.
hardcore boy fucking match, dude. Hell yeah.
On the WMMA side, Ivana Petrovic making her debut. There's a little bit of a heat behind her. So, and then she's going up against Luana Carolina, who is not a good fighter.
Santos, yeah.
Who knows? That might be like a little bit of a showcase fight. It's an opportunity. It's a really big opportunity for her. We got our boy, the Moldovan Bear, Alexander Romanov.
Oh
on
yeah,
the
he's
prelims.
fighting down. So he's actually jerking the curtain, huh?
Yeah, against Blagoy Ivanov. He's the
They
second
really,
fight.
They're setting him up. They're setting him up to like kind of like build his way back. That's
A little
my
bit of a
buddy
rebound
there.
fight. That's my guy.
Yeah, that's my buddy, dude. Don't. I would like to kick it with that guy, dude. He's probably got some weird fucking stories, dude.
I don't even have a read on what his personality
I'll
is like.
never
to be
forget.
honest.
He was. What was he like for like? Was it what is that shit that they have for the I can't embedded when he was fucking shadow boxing in a Super 8 fucking parking lot with shoes on, or not shadow boxing but like hitting the pads,
Yeah.
and all you hear is like tearing up the gravel when he was kicking. It's like, what the hell, this guy's insane.
But let's go to our main event here. This is, I mean, okay, what fight? I was gonna say this is the one that everyone's showing up for, but is it? Is it really? I want to say like
that?
what fight? Yeah. For the casual fan, what fight do you think is really bringing the eyeballs to this main event?
Good question.
I still think it might very well just be Sean Strickland versus Abbas Magomedov off of Sean Strickland's name alone.
I really want to see like Bruno Ferreira. Remember, homie, we had a talk about him, how bodied up this motherfucker is. I'm excited.
Was it one of our swole boys?
Yes, and the Bonfim brothers.
I was the Ismail Bonfim.
Bonfim brothers. Yeah. And Ismail Bonfim had that savage ass fucking knockout of McKinney. Like he put McKinney in the shadow realm with that knee. Remember that?
I do.
He's coming off of that, dude.
Yeah.
So I saw Bonfim and I saw Bruno Silva like back to back, and I was like, here we go. This is hardcore fucking like. This is hard. Like, so it's so weird that they put this fight at the. I think they're like kind of giving us that like you guys will have no life. You're going to be watching because they're putting like Romanov is at the beginning. Like there's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're just saying with the WMA that the gals got some heat on it. Like they're really like this is the hardcores. Like here you go, guys. Like they're like serving slop. Here you go, pigs.
Yeah,
like,
it's this is a tough one to be like, okay, I'm just going to tune in from this time to this time for these couple fights. It's all pretty spread out throughout the card. And as a WMMA fan too, that's kind of always a thing. Also, like it's very rare that all the WMMA fights, if you have a card that has 3 or fucking maybe 4, surprisingly WMMA fights, they're always going to be spread out evenly. They're never all going to be back to back.
Yeah. Very rare. Good point.
But Sean Strickland, Abbas Magomedov, give me a breakdown, Brandon. What are you feeling in this fight?
I don't want to. I think it's going to look a lot like how Sean Strickland put it on Nasruddin Imavov. I think it's going to be almost that's what he's going to want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think I that's always kind of one of the. That's what for me. That's Sean Strickland's key performance, honestly.
Right. That's all I can really go to.
I mean, I've seen a lot of his, and I've kind of been aware of Sean Strickland since his fight against Krzysztof Jotko, which is like, okay, dude, like it's just Krzysztof Jotko, like, but I really got a sense of his style in that fight, and I really kind of like recognized the kind of pressure that he can put on his opponents. And it's like not flashy. It's not, I mean, despite what his personality might communicate to some people, he's not just this knockdown, drag out fighter that some people might think he is. And I think if you're a heavy kicker, like he can crowd the kicker pretty well. Like you mentioned, we saw what he did with Nasruddin Imavov. And I could see a little bit of that happening here, but Abus Magomedov has fucking hands too.
He does.
Yeah. The man throws heavy leather, and he throws a good jab. He throws a good kick, and it's a heavy kick. Where I'm not really sure. Yeah, this is a little bit of a tough one to call for me. I went back and I watched some of Magomedov's fights to kind of get an idea of what he brings to the table. And I know that he's been finished before. You know, he's been fucking knocked out cold in the PFL. You know, he just missed out on winning $1 million over in the PFL when he got knocked out by Lewis Taylor. So I mean, that's one little potential chink in his armor is like, how's that chin? You know what I mean? But I don't think that Sean Strickland is the kind of guy who's really gonna, he's not really gonna exploit that. He's not really a knockout guy. So I think I'm gonna lean towards. Well, did I even give you a chance to make a pick? I did ask you to go first, but
no, I took Sean Strickland by decision.
Went Sean? Okay, I'm gonna go. Dang, this is a tough one, honestly. Because I want to go Abus Magomedov, but I know Sean Strickland is also incredibly hard to finish. I mean, unless you're Alex Pereira.
Yeah, unless you're like one of one.
Mm-hmm. So it's one of those deals where it's like, okay, I can see Abus Magomedov getting around and getting it big and maybe making it look like, oh shit, like Strickland's in trouble, and then just potentially fading and seeing Strickland kind of started to play it safe more, maybe activate his wrestling, which... I mean, this man's name is Magomedov, so we'll see how that goes. I know. Don't wanna, I know wrestling isn't like Abus Magomedov's thing compared to like other Russian Dagestani fighters. Like he's much more of a standing fighter. But yeah, that's a question mark for me as well. There's a lot of question marks in this fight, even though I've gone back and watched some Abus Magomedov fights. The styles. Or the style, I'd say it's more confusing for me because of Sean Strickland's style. Like, I'm still impressed by how well Sean Strickland's style works on fighters that, you know, I thought that would have had an easier time against him. And yeah, it's
the weight class.
Remains a mystery. Yeah, I mean, it's middleweight. I told myself I wasn't going to shit on the middleweight division.
No, I'll do it for you. I was trying to bring it out of you. I was like hoping you would.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
It's a terrible weight class.
Who doesn't love a fight night headlined by middleweights in a fight that doesn't have any kind of stakes or contendership stakes or title eliminator? Like fucking.
It's so crazy too because the class, it has two of like arguably the best fighters in the world right now, with Whitaker and Adesanya. Mm-hmm. But that's like it. And Dricus is pretty dope, but.
I'd say the weight class has a lot of characters. It's like
it's a goofball. It's definitely like the tough man like version of like what the UFC has, but then it's just like straight pure class at the top. Mm-hmm. Those dudes are just pure class, like absolute. Like you cannot question those. Like you cannot question Whitaker and Adesanya as far as just being like they would be the class in any weight class. They're the top of. They rise to the top of any weight class in the world. There's no one middleweight. There's no middleweights in the world better in any promotion. Sorry, I'll just say it now. Better than these two guys.
Yeah, I don't think I can question that at all.
So it's a very weird thing. And then it's like they talk about it on fucking on Sopranos. I'll pull a Sopranos thing where you got New York and then you got fucking those farmers, or when they make fun of fucking New Jersey, they're like
that glorified crew.
They're like a glorified crew. You got fucking like New York mob, and then you have fucking whatever they're doing in New Jersey over there.
Yeah, you got Vittori and Strickland and
just
Derek Brunson and Jack Hermanson. But and then you could also have still knocks. DDP, Paulo Costa.
He's Fudio. He's like the Fudio. He's still good. He's like doing something weird.
Roman Delitze.
Roman Delitze is banging everybody's fucking wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay.
That's enough.
Did I give a pick? That's enough. Stop.
Okay, enough, Fred. Stop now.
Stop now. No, did I give a pick officially?
No.
No. I'm gonna go Abbas Magomedov. Fuck it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm
cool.
gonna do that.
That's cool. That gives a little spice, right?
It sure does. Hey, did you hear about the stunt that the PFL pulled?
Yeah, and you know what's insane, crazy, because you guys are rubbing off on me. I watched PFL for a little bit. I missed the Shane Burgos fight because we're, like I said, I went out of town this week, so we're like kind of waiting for everything, like packing up, doing all this stuff. So I just sat there and watched PFL. I saw that fight, the two friends. I thought for sure, I go, this guy's pulling punches. Like this guy's that spar level, 1-2 head back. Like it was very like and I don't know their names. So do you have their names? The jacked dude was definitely like pulling punches.
Nathan Schultz and Roush Manfield.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know anything about. I didn't know that they were teammates, friends. One is the other's like son's godfather. Like they are very, very close. Like you can look at that and knowing that. I mean, it's hindsight for us, but if you're the matchmaker, you should know these things over at the PFL. And you could say, I mean, bad matchmaking there. Like, okay, you're upset that they didn't go like try and kill each other in there, but like, come on, look at what you booked against each other. Like, of course, I don't know. Like, I didn't watch the fight, so I've heard other people say similar things. That it's like those guys were out there sparring. That was not a fight.
It definitely caught my eye as like, what? No, this does not. Even for PFL, this isn't right.
But man, tough look. I think I don't know. I don't have a read on it.
Setup.
It's
Mike made a great point. It was like, then just don't do the tournament. If you just want to, if you want to do the UFC thing, because like, here's a conspiracy theory of mine: is like, the UFC actually likes the shitty judges. They like that. They've really like, they're kind of conditioning our heads to like kind of get used to like, well, the judges are like that, so that they can kind of get certain things passed and maybe set things up a little easier as far as like, I'll just say it, like fixing shit and just blame it on judging. I think they're conditioning us to really like take that serious as like a, let's just be like that. Where like
it also sorry to interrupt, but it also gives them an excuse to say what, I mean, for Dana to say what he loves to say all the time. Don't leave it to the judges. Yeah. But,
good point, man. Great point. Yeah, but Mike made a great point. It's like, then just don't do the jag-off tournament and fucking put Burgos in there. Just don't make the matches. Why go through the song and dance? Which is a good point on his end.
I think what was really dumb of the PFL for doing this is like, okay, they had a really shitty fight. I mean, like I said, I didn't watch it, but yeah, I'm sure nobody was entertained by it. But who was sitting there saying like, dude, that fight fucking sucks so much? They should just fucking get rid of these guys. Like get them out of here and put Shane Burgos. Like, who is asking for that type of punishment?
Probably
like
Francis again in that fucking crazy African getup, dude. Like, come on, dude. You're rocking Gucci sweaters and shit at fucking ringside at the UFC, and now all of a sudden you're wearing like traditional garb, dude.
I think it was just a bad time to do this because as it is, you're the PFL. The people who are watching are probably hardcore fans anyways.
As fuck. AI judging, what? What are we talking about?
Yeah, the fucking smart cage. Get out of my face with the smart cage. So I think
Randy Couture, get out of here. I don't want to see any of this.
Yeah, so I think it's just kind of really short-sighted to think that you're gonna like, make a press release and be like, we've got rid of these fighters because they didn't entertain you the way that you want to be entertained. It's like, hey, the people who want to be entertained like that, they're watching the UFC. Like, know your audience. Like, they're grateful that you got Shane Burgos, but they know that they can just watch a Shane Burgos fight because you could just book a Shane Burgos fight. Like, it doesn't need to be in the tournament.
That's why the UFC does what they do.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, you have less control. And, well, I see it, like I mentioned in the chat. I mean, to me, that's a sign that they'll probably just do away with tournaments by next year. Because I mean, if they're trying to make that play, that's what I would expect.
Because it fucked them. It fucked them with Kayla Harrison. You know what I mean? Like, she lost to the homie that works at fucking
Verizon.
Always trying to fuck it up. So yeah, I don't need a case. I'm fine.
I've seen a few Larissa Pacheco's at Verizon, dude.
Yeah, dude. She looks like she drives that, like, it's this. It looks like that Subaru WRX, but it's not. It's actually a Scion. You're like, is that a Subaru? Oh, it's a Scion.
Yeah, man. But at the same time, I think they should. I still think they should keep the tournaments around, because if you're going to be injecting a $1 million payday into something with the name brand fighters that they have, like, I don't know. I still think they need to dangle that carrot to get other, like, kind of like really good fighters who will help to deepen their divisions, but maybe aren't like the most marquee names.
$1 million Grand Prix. Let's just do that. A Grand Prix, dude. Like,
hey, UFC also just do that. Like, just do, like, do that with a lot of these mid card guys. Like, make it a tournament. We're gonna see these fights anyways. Like, just throw up. May do a couple milli tournaments with people who don't matter in the title discussion. And then
on a Wednesday,
and it'll destroy the PFL, which I don't.
You'll end it. You'll completely end it. Just say, hey, ESPN, this shit's kind of whack. ChatGPT judging, that's fucking stupid. So here's Terrence McKinney. Here's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here's fucking like that level fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, check these guys out. These guys curtain jerk on fight night cards, but we're gonna put them in a Grand Prix. Here's Drew Dober. Hey guys, you like Drew Dober? Check this fucking shit out.
Oh, dude, yeah. So I'm just looking at this lightweight division right now. If those are the kind of names you're saying, give me Renato Moicano, fucking Matt Frivola, Thiago Moises,
yes,
fucking Drew Dober. Yeah, dude, you could make a tremendous. And these guys aren't. It's not like they have the opportunity to really, like, fight the top 5 or, you know, the top 10 as it is. And anyways.
Then fuck the ultimate fighter. Just run a fucking reality show off this on YouTube. Just say, like, we're gonna go into each dude's training camp. We're gonna take them away from the rankings. They'll be able to jump a full 2 or 3. It'll definitely affect their ranking if they win, but it won't fuck them over if they lose. We're going to follow their camps every day, their lives, everything throughout this, you know, and then do, like, because who gives a fuck? These guys on Tough, they're going to be gone, and that's it. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. But if you do, like, you follow Drew Dober for 3 fights, you follow Terrence McKinney, or you follow, you know, guys like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, you follow Matt Frivola, you follow fucking crazy ass fucking Moicano, and you just see how that shit goes, and then in a tournament, and then it's fucking badass, and just do it crazy, like go way out of left field with, like, the do it, like, outdoors somewhere, like, do you know something fucking crazy? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe the Tachi Palace. I don't know, Dana. I don't know. Do it outside of Tachi Palace on a crisp November night.
Set up the brackets so that, like, you can do a small card like that where, like, this is one of the tournament cards, and you know, like, the dudes who are fighting in the main and co-main event, everyone watching that will know that the winner of both of those fights will be fighting each other the next time they see them.
Go to their hometowns and fight, so that you'll get the crowd pop too. You'll get that, like, get the community engagement, so that, and they've been watching it on YouTube. That's our boy. You know, he's in this fucking UFC tournament. And then have Dana just go, oh, fucking, you know, right now, if he fucking calls up any of his friends and sponsors and say, oh, you're going to tell me Modelo won't throw in a couple mil to, like, be, like, the headline sponsor on every show or whatever, every embedded type level that they'll do.
Modelo tournament winner, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's
the
fine.
Modelo lightweight tournament. Yeah. The lightweight Grand Prix.
Dude, yeah.
What?
Absolutely. Make a fucking Modelo belt for it, and it'll just be...
make a fucking Negra Modelo belt, dude.
Yeah.
Tasty. Had one of those this weekend. Very good. You guys, yeah, very good. I slept on Negro Modelo. Very good.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
funny bartender also, I ordered a Negro Modelo and he goes, "What did you call me?" Dark beer. And then I got very scared. And he's like, "I'm just joking, man."
Any other MMA news that we should touch on?
Did we just fucking come up with them? I'm sure we're not the first guys, but like, wouldn't that fucking sound sick? You get fucking 6 dudes, follow them around for the tournament, do them in their hometowns in a really different type of venue, different, and yeah, sick. Modelo, Dodge Ram, just fucking, that would be crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, like we said, dangle that $1 million there. That's nothing to the UFC. It's literally nothing to the UFC. For people who don't know, it's nothing at all to the UFC. Yeah. And it's huge for whoever potentially wins that tournament, just like for the same reason anybody goes to fight for the PFL. And then also not beyond the money, like those names that we named off.
The PFL.
It ends the PFL.
Makes the PFL a joke. You're a joke, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Look what we did with our mid fighters. You're like wasting Kayla Harrison's prime.
It's like
we're just gonna throw Drew Dober out here.
Yeah, it's like when Instagram started doing stories and
reels stories was
yeah, and then what was it? Snapchat just became like, oh, now that's just the app to hook up.
It's just
now.
for hoes.
Because exactly, because there's nothing it doesn't have that like key feature anymore.
God damn it, my girl still has Snapchat. Like, you just like realizing, like, Crystalia like remembered that you can screenshot Snapchat.
Yeah, exactly. It might notify you, dog, but they can still do it. It's not.
Jesus Christ.
By God. Well, 56 minutes.
You just see me looking at my phone all crazy in the Zoom. Like, her score went up by 8 whenever I notice her snap score goes up whenever I'm on the podcast at 10 o'clock at night.
That moment when you realize your location's been on the entire time and you're like, fuck, where have I been?
Holy shit.
All right, man. Well, I think that marks the end of another fantastic.
I gotta go put
podcast.
an air tag in my girl's car right now.
You gonna drop it in the gas tank?
Just put one of my son's toys, like put it in his like a teddy bear. And just, drop it.
That escalated so fucking fast, dude. I'm gonna put an air tag.
Where is she going? Oh my god! I'm a joke. I'm proud that I chose Jared Cannon here.
Tune in next time to see what becomes of Brandon's love life and his emotional his emotional sanity. Thanks for listening, folks. If you're still here with us, consider liking. If you enjoyed this episode, comment or ask us any questions that you'd like regarding MMA in the comment section. Leave your picks, any of that good stuff. To everybody who's always leaving posts and saying, like, for the algorithm, I don't know what that's all about, but thank you guys. You guys are fucking amazing. We appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future episodes. And as always, we'll see you in the next episode of The Fight Plug.